Thank you all for coming. Today I want to talk about brands. So I want you to take a moment and think about brands that you're associated with. And to start, you might not think that you're associated with very many, but I'd like to maybe open your mind to that. If you're part of a workforce, or if you're a part of an organization, or have a social media account, whatever it is, there's a lot more brands that we're associated than we think of. And because we're all part of a brand, I think it's important to understand how to develop a brand and to know what the steps are and how to increase your capacity. The reason I think that's important is because your worth and your ability to help those organizations that you're a part of increases. Your capacity increases as you're able to help develop those brands. And so today I want to talk about 3 steps that'll help you do that, and then a case study that I've gone over. So the first step is an innovation stage. The second one is a development stage, and then the third one is an evaluation stage. And so I'll go over those, and I'll go over the case study, and hopefully by the end of it you'll be able to understand how you yourself can help all those brands that you're a part of grow. So the first one is an innovation stage. With any brand, you need to find your purpose. What is it that you do? You know, who do you serve and what are you trying to accomplish? Think of a brand without a purpose as like a car without a driver. It may be able to go for a while, but eventually it will crash. And it'll stop and it'll burn. And so the same thing with your brand. You need to be able to have a purpose and a focus that you can go back to. You also need to research the market. Find out who else is in that niche. What are they doing? What's successful? What's not successful? And what can you do better than them? And once you've done that, you create a set of standards and values that you can turn to and live by. And I love how Forbes puts it because I think it's important to know what those values and standards are set and how they're set. Forbes says it is imperative for you and your team to realize that you are your brand. So for those of you who might work for a company, you are that brand. You develop it, no matter what department you're a part of. You help develop that brand. So that's the first stage. Then we go to the development stage. You have to create an identity. You create a logo. You create a color scheme. You have a theme, a common look that people can turn to. I looked at Entrepreneur and what they said about developing a logo and a brand identity. They say, a good logo can build loyalty between your business and your customers, establish a brand identity, and provide that professional look of an established enterprise. You need to be able to be recognized by people. You need to be able for your consumer to look at you and say, I know who that is. That's whatever company or organization. Once you've done that, you start producing. You're able to come up with content. If you provide a service, start showing that you provide that service. If you provide a product, get that product out to as many people as possible. Whatever it is you do, start producing. Because once you're able to do that, you go to the final stage of development. And that's where you start to market. You put your name out there, you put the money and the time to get your logo, to get your face of your brand out to as many people as possible. So that people can see you, they'll see the content you're providing, and they'll start to put you as a recognizable brand in that industry. So once you've done the development stage, it's time to move on and evaluate. Here you say, what did we do well? And sometimes you'll look and you'll say, we spent a lot of time on that, and it flopped, and it didn't work well. And sometimes you'll look and you'll say, that was a quick little post that we did and it blew up, it went viral. We don't always know how or why the internet and why the media today works the way it does. We can evaluate though. We can look and say, let's repeat that, let's do that again because it's working for us. And so once you've evaluated that, you adapt. And as you adapt, you go back to the very first stage of your innovation. And you say, okay, do we need to adapt our values and our morals? Do we need to adapt to our purpose to better fit? Maybe our consumer that we're targeting isn't exactly who's buying right now. Let's focus on who is buying. And so you adapt and you innovate again. And once you've innovated again, you develop again. You say, maybe we should change our product. Maybe we should change our logo, our color scheme, whatever it is you need to do. And once you've done that, you go and you evaluate again. And it's a constant cycle of going through these 3 stages. And it never ends, and as you continue to do that, you'll get a refined brand that is excellent and powerful. And I've seen this, and I'll tell you why. I worked for a company called GDP Tuning, and we sometimes had 2 different logos that were going out, products that were varying and all over the place, and it was tough at sometimes to figure out what exactly we were doing. And so our owner went ahead and he hired a graphic designer to work full-time and develop a brand and work on this. He didn't know everything about the company, he didn't know everything about the industry, so he took some of us from each different department to help develop a committee that would work and create this brand identity. And we went through these 3 steps. We made a set of values that we're going to live by and what we're trying to do with every single department. We said, what is our color scheme? And we had a defined logo that we could turn to time and time again. We also created a target customer. We did market research and reached out to them, whether it would be in magazines, internet advertising, whatever the case might be. We reached out to them and marketed towards them. And I know that this works because I've seen it work at GDP Tuning. And it's working at organizations that I'm a part of today. And I know that your capacity as a brander with whatever organization you're a part of will grow as you start to innovate and develop and evaluate. It'll help you in every single organization you're a part of. Thank you.